story time. It was January, February of a year I really don't remember. And my boyfriend at the time had to go to DC to handle some business. So since he was going away for the weekend, he was like, why don't you go hang out with Jim? Now, I'm not using people's real name in this story, so I'm making them up as I go. So Jim's like, okay, well, Turk, get dressed. We're going to go out tonight. Mind you, my ex-boyfriend's cousin, he was phenomenal. And when I see him, I still show him all the love in the world. Super cool dude, felt safe, felt comfortable, cool bet. So I'm going to this party with him, right? So the place we go to is Sad's Booker in North Philadelphia. Child, if you're from Philly, you know about Sad Booker's. Old G spot, old bar. The owner's mad old, but he got mad bread, so he gets all the little cuties because he got long paper, and it has some banging ass shrimp. Okay, so we go to Sad's, we have a good time. I'm thinking we on our way home. So Jim meets up with a friend at the party who happens to be DJing. He's like, hey, I'm DJing Jim at another spot. Why don't y'all follow me to this other spot and we can kick it and have a good time? And I'm like, okay. So we're going to go to another party. Well, child, end up being a house party. Do you hear me? First of all, life lesson number 101. I don't party at house parties, especially of people I don't know. I don't like partying on territory that's unfamiliar. Like, no ma'am, no ma'am, no sir, no sir. So in my gut, in my spirit, I feel like the ancestors was talking to me and like, yo, you don't want to go to this. Don't go, don't go, don't go. But Jim just like, come on, you'll be safe. It's okay. Just go, just go. Now, I wasn't the only girl. My friend at the time, we'll name her Ashley. Ashley was with me, right? Ashley's like, yeah, come on now. Ashley was a party girl, so she was all about it. She was like, yeah, come on. Let's go. It'll be fun. We'll enjoy ourselves, so whatever. So we get to this random person house. From the moment we walked in, I felt it. I felt energy. It was off. I'm like, I want to go. So Jim's like, no, we just got here. Hey, no. And Ashley's like, no, we just got here, hey, have a good time. So I took my happy ass to the truck. Mind you, it's cold as shit outside. It's ice and snow on the ground. But I went and took my behind and I set up in the car. Now, he had a big old black SUV at the time because he's a big guy. So I was like, no, I'm going to sit out in the SUV. And I swear, if they had Ubers around this time, I would have just Ubered myself home because where I was at was in the neighborhood where I lived. So I just should have just got out of there. So Ashley comes back out to the car. And I'm like, she's like, why didn't you stay? And I was like, girl, I just got a really, really bad vibe. I wasn't feeling it. So she was like, yeah, it was kind of funny. I know the chick was looking at me, but oh my goodness, I really got to pee. So one of his friends, Jim's friends, other than the DJ, because it was like 8 of us, he comes out to the SUV like, hey, what y'all doing in there? And I kind of tell him straight up, like, I'm not really feeling the vibe. I'm just going to chill in the truck. And so Ashley's like, well, I really got to use the bathroom. So the guy says, well, my godparents live around the corner. I'll take you to their house. First of all, if you go to somebody's house party and you can't use the bathroom, that's a big ass red sign. Either they mad nasty, or why don't you just go home? You shouldn't be there in the first place, for real. So I'm thinking he took her, Ashley, to his godparents' house who's around the corner. What does he do? He takes her back into the house we just left, right? Next thing I know, I see her getting pulled down the street from one of Jim's friends. And I hear cussing, screaming, everybody's going off. It's a whole bunch of commotion. Mind you, it's ice and snow on the ground. I am dressed up in my good clothes. I had one pair. I'm not going to let my friends sit here and get jumped, right? So I literally had like 1 foot in the truck, 1 on the ground, 1 Tim, 1 pump. A freaking mess. So I see Jim coming down the street like, get back in the car, get in the truck. And then he says to me, hand me my gun. I said, I should have. When them ancestors and God be talking and his angels be talking, you need to listen. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to get into some mess. Right? His weapon was registered and everything because he was a bounty. He's an ex-bounty hunter. So he was good. But Jim's friends including his DJ friend, they coming out the house because like it's getting really thick. Like it's definitely not a whole vibe up in this joint. You know what I'm saying? And I'll never forget this voice. I heard a man's voice say, "Get down." Soon as I got down, out the right corner of my eye, I see I'm gonna say the real name. I see Ashley jump over into somebody's yard, and I hear pop 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 in the middle of a damn shootout. Okay, when I tell you, it happened so slow motion. So of course, and mind you, to my right, not only did I see her jump into somebody's yard for safety, I see Jim shooting at these guys. After you experience that and you still breathing, you start patting yourself down like, oh my God, am I hit? You know, did I get shot? I see blood right next to me on the ground. Y'all, if I've never believed that God and Jesus was real and there's angels, after that night, after that night, I can't even describe to you. I didn't get shot, thank you, Jesus. But the guy next to me got shot. And not only did he get shot, he got shot in his knee. Here's his knee, okay? My hand is his knee, excuse my nails. My hand is his knee, and here is my face, okay? So I was literally like 2 inches away from getting a bullet to the face. Ashley screaming. You know, of course, everybody ran once the gunshots started going off. And I hear the guy next to me say, I got hit, right? So we hop him up in the SUV. We take him to the hospital. We get to the hospital. We don't even wait for the ambulance because I don't know if you ever been in a situation like that, like the cops. It was just like a mess. So, of course, when we take him to the hospital, you know, the cops are going to get called. Now it's a shooting. Cops were called to the scene. So it's a big ordeal. I had just moved to Philly, so my ID at the time still had Pittsburgh on it. So we're at the hospital. The guy survived. He's cool. He's good. But I'm telling Ashley, girl, you know the cops won't come up here. Now this is the whole crime. Like, this is the whole situation. I'm like, whatever you do, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. So, of course, they pull us. Y'all got to come to the station with us. Now, mind you, at this time, it was probably like 3 or 4 in the morning on a Sunday morning, right? The festivities started at Saturday. Now it's Sunday morning. And I'm like, oh, my God. Oh my. And then not only that, was my ID still said Pittsburgh, still had a Pittsburgh address on it. But then I was also working at the House of Representatives. So, you know, this is not cool. This is not conducive. This is not the work of the Lord or the ancestors. So I'm just like, oh my God. And I should have just went home. I should have just told him to go home. But I asked, but he refused. He was like, no, you will never come out. Come on out and hang with us. You know what I'm saying? They get me, they get Ashley in one room, they get me in another room. They're asking her questions, they asking me questions, and every answer I got is, oh, I'm just a visitor from out of town. All right, and I said about 3 or 4 times, and then after like the 4th time, the girl was like, she already asked my ID. She said, let me see your ID again. So she looked me up. She was like, yeah, like your address is still Pittsburgh. So I'm like, whew. She was like, well, you can go outside. Now, if you ever been to Precinct, you know it is not the Holiday Inn. It is not Hilton. It's not even Motel 6, shout. It is the Precinct. It is cold, dirty, and dingy, and dark. I'm sitting there just waiting. I'm like, all right, Ashley gonna be out. And what did Ashley do? Ashley went and started, I don't want to say ratting, but she started naming names. Eventually, she come out and she's all like shooken up, and I'm like, yo, you good, you cool, you didn't say anything crazy. And they're like, no, she said, I just told the truth. Bruh. I'm like, oh my girl. And you can't, I mean, what do you, it's like I was mad at her one breath for telling the truth, because I'm like, damn it, you should have kept your mouth closed. But on the other hand, I can't be mad because you should tell the truth. But girl, sometimes you gotta have gifted discernment now. But she didn't know nothing about that life. Now, I didn't grow up in that kind of life, but I just knew the streets. You know, my parents made sure I was very balanced and book smart and street smart. Situation like this, they make you tell your story like 15 times over just to see if there's any inconsistency. So my story is staying the same. I was in the truck. I don't know nothing. I was literally in the truck. I wasn't there. And then I guess from other people witness or whoever was talking, it was like, yeah, she really was in church. She don't even know. She don't know faces or nothing like that. But by this time, Ashley opened up her mouth. She started naming names. And then when she came out and I kind of told her like, yo, chill out, relax, fall back a little bit. When she come back, she's trying to not give no information, not give no names, not disclose nothing. And it's too late. So what they do to Ashley, they throw her in a cell. Take her coat. It's cold as shit in there from what I heard. Cold. She's hungry. We're tired. So sure we didn't get up out of there until Sunday morning around to like 10:30, 11 o'clock. About like 10:30, 11 o'clock that morning. I was so tired. I just felt dirty. I was disgusted. And then they put a sugar on top of the freaking donut. My boyfriend at the time wasn't answering my phone call. So he knew nothing about what was going on. And for some reason, he wasn't picking up his phone. And I was pissed about that. I'm like, yo, do you know what happened?